Hey, it's me, Jen again, and we're heading to Virginia for my second RFA treatment. Let's go on a little road trip.
As a busy mom, I was really looking forward to this trip, just having a break, change of scenery, getting away for a few days. Even though I was going to go have these procedures done, I was so excited to get to go stay at this Airbnb on a farm with the amazing views of the Blue Ridge Mountains. It was just simply breathtaking. If you've seen my video from my last trip to Virginia, you'll see that it was completely a different experience for me. Last time when we were traveling, I just felt so bad. I was so tired and nauseous, and I was having trouble swallowing and breathing. And I was just filled with anxiety because I didn't have any idea what to expect. But this time it was so much a 180 from that last trip. It was completely the opposite. I was excited. I had this anticipation of knowing what I was going to expect and knowing that I was going to be able to have a little bit of free time to do some fun things while I was there. And one of the fun things that we got to do was actually go to Monticello and meet up with a friend, and that was something we could not have done the first time. In fact, the first time I wanted to see Monticello, and we actually drove to Monticello, and I saw that I would have to do a fair amount of walking, and I didn't even get out of the car. I was really, really disappointed because I just felt so bad. I knew that I wouldn't be up for all of that walking. So getting to go to Monticello was quite enjoyable for me. I went as a kid when I was about 12 with my family, and I really didn't remember very much about it. So getting to walk around the grounds and hear everything about what Thomas Jefferson invented and all of his life, it was just very, very interesting. I highly recommend it if you have the opportunity to go. And if you don't, they have some really cool online tours as well. On the day that we got to go to Monticello at about 2 o'clock, I had my appointment with Dr. Park for my pre-procedure consult, and I was really excited to get to see him again because it had been about 9 months since my procedure last summer, and Dr. Park and I have emailed a lot, and he's taught me so much, and so I was just very excited to see him. I could tell when he walked in the door that he was not as excited and bubbly as he was the first time I met him because he had extra stress on him due to the current situation we have in this country right now. And when he came in the door, he actually came over to my husband and gave him an elbow bump and a little toe bump, and I just gave him a little wave, and I was disappointed. I wanted to give him a big hug, but you know, we just can't do that right now. First thing we did was take a look at my thyroid and take a look at how it's changed since my first procedure last summer. And the good news is that it has definitely shrunk quite a bit, but there were still some parts that he called challenging. He said it would be kind of difficult to treat some of these areas because my nodule is just really, really big, and it gets into some of the areas of my neck that are kind of difficult to access. After that, we looked at my kidney. The cyst is the part that's black and looks like a big circle, and it was just a big fluid-filled cyst about the size of a baseball. And that actually would be a very simple procedure, and it basically just involved them draining it and then filling it with ethanol and allowing it to kill off the inside cells so that it would not refill with fluid. And that was basically it. So my consult wasn't quite the exciting reunion I had hoped for, but given the circumstances, it was as good as it could have been. After that, I was actually able to meet back up with my friend. My husband and I went and we got to see the rotunda of UVA. The college campus at UVA is just absolutely beautiful. We were there during UVA's spring break, and actually UVA had decided at that point that they were going to shut down and do e-learning for the rest of the year. And so campus was pretty quiet. Thankfully we had nice weather. We were able to walk around and enjoy the scenery for a little while. And then after that, we all went and had tacos for dinner. That night, I had to fast after midnight in preparation for the procedure the next morning, and so I stayed up until about 12:30. Was watching the news, and as you know, things were kind of starting to develop at that point, and I started to feel a little bit nervous, to be honest. Even though I was fully confident in my doctor and I felt good about everything, I'm human, I still had a little bit of those nerves, and so I made this image. I took a picture on the way to Charlottesville, and I placed this Bible verse on top of it because it talks about looking up to the mountains. And does your help come from the mountains? No, it comes from the one who made the mountains. And doing that kind of helped me to kind of breathe deep and just remember that. And so I went to bed. And then the next morning, I got up really early. We got to the hospital, screening every patient before they come in to make sure that they've not been out of the country, that they've not been in contact with anyone who's been out of the country. And I was actually very grateful. We had not made it to church the previous Sunday. Had we been to church, we actually might have been turned away because our church had a missions conference, missionaries that were coming to speak, and they were from all over the world. And so, of course, at that point, we didn't know how things were going to develop as they are developing now. So I was very thankful that I was not turned away. I was taken back to my room, and I was given my lovely little cap and gown to wear, and I got changed, and then I just had to wait. So we just got home. I'm tired, but other than that, I feel pretty awesome. Quite a contrast to how I felt last time. Had a lot of swelling last time. This time I have about a ½ inch. Last time I had 2 inches. My back, where I had my kidney procedure done, is fine. Like, it's not even sore. I just have like a little piece of gauze taped to me. Big thing that happened today was that I went all day long without eating. It's 7 o'clock. I have not had anything to eat since midnight last night. I don't think I've ever made it that long without eating. Just to kind of recap the day, I had my procedure this morning on my thyroid. It went pretty well. There were still some places that unfortunately could not be properly treated due to the locations of some of the nearby structures that were causing some pain, and so he treated everything he could. It will just continue to improve, and then at some point down the line I will be having a third procedure. It could be substantially more difficult if done as a surgery. He said to me today that part of my thyroid nodule was just above my aorta. That's significant. Had the thyroid RFA this morning, took a little break. I was like, all right, let's do the kidney. It was conscious sedation, but I actually fell asleep pretty much instantly. And then woke up and I was like, are we done yet? They're like, you're done. What I had done to my kidney is the same thing that any of you who have thyroid cysts would have done, which is called PEI. What I had done, it was called sclerotherapy, and it was super easy. No pain at all, except right at the end when he pulled out the little tube, which honestly I don't think it would hurt in the case of a thyroid nodule because it would be much closer to the surface. I had probably several inches of tubing from the point of where the entrance was on my skin to the actual kidney itself.
They took me back to my room. I was good to go. My husband was like, wow, you look like you feel great. I was like, I do feel pretty great. They got me discharged and we stopped at Trader Joe's on the way home. Hubby's making my mac and cheese now. I am so incredibly grateful for everything that has happened on this trip. It has been a complete 180 from last time. I felt horrible, not to sound exaggerating, but I really felt like I was dying. I couldn't breathe and I felt so horrible. And this time it's just been so much better. And y'all, my doctor's incredible. He's amazing. It is the morning after my procedures. I feel amazing. I woke up this morning and I just felt so good. I had energy, I have extremely minimal soreness. I am standing outside of our Airbnb, which is lovely, by the way, and I want to go out and walk around and just enjoy the scenery. And it's kind of a big shift from the way I felt last time. I was sore and I was tired and I was swollen, and you know, in comparison to how I would have felt after surgery, I felt really good, but I still didn't feel well. I still needed to recover, and it took me about a week to recover to the point where I felt as good as I feel right now. I am incredibly grateful that I feel so good right now. I just can't express to you the difference. This time after my procedure, I was given some medicine to help with my pain and swelling. I was given a steroid, some anti-inflammatory, and I was also given an ice pack. They've studied a lot of cases of people who've had RFA over in Europe, and they've discovered that following this protocol after RFA significantly reduces the symptoms that people have of discomfort afterwards, and it accelerates their recovery period. And so I asked my doctor about this. He said no, he had never tried it, that he would be willing to do that with me if I so desired. And I said, let's give it a shot. And so I received those medications in the ice pack after my RFA. I gotta tell you, I think it helped. I really do, because it was either that or the fact that I don't know if I had less tissue ablated this time or if it was the medication. All I know is that I feel really good. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. If you'd like to learn more, take a look at these videos over here. Never forget to educate yourself and always be your own health advocate. Confirmation on this. Leave the car alone.